we're going to do an unboxing of this laser cutter. So if I just open that, we'll see what we got in here and we'll get started. The first thing we've got is an accessory pack, and this has a power cord, has a USB cable, and let's have a look here. Oop, looks like we have some sealant. Drop the lid. So we have some double-sided tape. This is a Jubilee clamp. So we have a piece of something to machine, scrap plastic. We have the obligatory wrench, so you can put everything together. And we have something, I'm not 100% sure what it is. There's an arrow on it. It's on this little guy here. Not altogether sure what that one is. So we'll figure those things out. What I'm going to do, so I have read the manual. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox the rest of it. So we do have here, we have, tilt you up a little bit. We have a pair of safety goggles for the laser. I don't want my eyes anywhere near the laser, so I'm not sure if I'll need those. And I'm not intending to get in front of the laser. Then, what else do we have? So there's a few more bits. I'm just going to get the big piece out of the box and then we'll catch up. So here it is, the Monport laser cutter. And just quickly show you the main panel. So you can see here, it's the temperature. So we have the temperature for the water, temperature for the power, there's an ammeter, there's an emergency stop, there's a warning sign, and there's the on-off switch. So in under here, this is basically the laser cutting area. All of this over here is the power supply, all that good stuff. So that, I believe, is, I think you have to take a screw out to get that out. Oh, here's a screw. There's actually a screw in the front there, if you see. Get some light on it. There's a little screw in there that locks that guy down. This is the power supply. I'll put you guys back over here. And there's a bunch of packing. I'm going to take all that out in the box. There is the exhaust flue, and then I think that's it for inside here. You can see the laser bed. Let's get you in there. the acrylic sheet in the top. I'm going to take that. So I get you one more look inside here. So that's where the laser is. You can see the mirrors here. And the way that that works is it's reflected off the mirrors. It goes off 3 mirrors and then it cuts. So down below there, if you look at that gray part down there, that's actually the extractor area. So we're gonna take this top piece off here now and reveal the acrylic sheet. So I'll do that next. And there it is now with the acrylic pad in there, the acrylic sheet in there. Basically, you can see through it there. Okay, one thing to note with the laser is you should never run it without water. So we've got to set up the water and so we can cool the laser before we run it. And we've got to set up the extractor so that we can extract the fumes from the laser. So we're going to do all that next. So in the box was the pump. This is the submersible pump that goes into a bucket and will circulate the distilled water so we can keep the laser cool. So in the back here we have the power supply. This is a grounding piece if you don't have a 3-pronged plug, which I do, so I don't need that. And this is where you can plug in the pump, the water pump. So I think we're going to use this to plug in the water pump. And here's the laser engraving machine specs. It's a 40-watt CO2 laser, 110 volts. And up this end you can see the exhaust port and the pipes for the water. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move it to the other end of the bench so that we can access those. So on this side is where the USB interface is. So this is on the right hand side of the laser. And I have the power cables all plugged in. And now I have connected the extractor hose and the pump. Just waiting on a bucket to put the pump in. It's a submersible pump. And I've connected that to the inlet. And the outlet is the other pipe. So with that being said, there's not much more I can do until I go get some distilled water. So we'll start from there. We'll get the distilled water and then we'll move on. Another thing to note in the instructions, it says that this is locked down. So you're going to have to release the stop. So that's now released, my emergency stop. And so that means the laser will start when I plug it in. I'm not going to plug it in yet. I'm going to leave that there and go get some distilled water. And then we can get ourselves all plugged in and get ready to rock and roll here. So here we are all set up with some water. We got our temperature gauges on here. And here's where our laser fires. I'll show you that as the laser is firing. And in our setup, I just got a piece of cardboard in there. We're going to create something and just do a straight up square or something, just a quick cut out just to show you that the laser's cutting. And then for our water, we actually went with a bucket. You can see the water level in there. So we went with the bucket and a couple of hoses in there, cut a hole into the lid, and there you go. Sorry about the moving around a little bit, but I wanted to just show you the water setup. So the water is set up, the extractor is set up on the back, and we are ready to rock and roll. We're just going to do a test cut. I'll show you how we do that on Lightburn. So I downloaded the Lightburn free trial and we're going to use that to get going. Here we go. So here we are in Lightburn. Lightburn is the most popular product to use to drive the laser. I'm far from an expert with it. Literally used it a couple of times. My laser is connected right now, so it's connected on this COM3, and as far as I know, we're going to be able to cut something. So with Lightburn, you can draw basic shapes. So I can draw just going to draw a square like that, and then we have our basic shape. It automatically puts it on a layer, and then that layer gets the settings. So this one is, my speed is 1000 and my power is 22. If I hit that, I can go in and change that. So I'm going to take my power down to 20. Oh, 22 is jumping too many. Let's just go to 20 where I wanted it to go. So we're going to do it for 20. Our speed is 1000. That's going to be plenty fast enough. And so I'm just cutting onto cardboard, so I don't want to do anything crazy with the cardboard and burn it. I'm just going to, I'm going to burn it, but I don't want to set it on fire. So, and you can do that with a laser, of course. So basically what we're going to do, we're just going to cut this square shape, just for a quick look-see. Looking forward to getting the stuff designed in FreeCAD, and we'll use FreeCAD to create the outlines, and then we'll just bring them into Lightburn to send it to the actual laser. So as far as this is concerned, it's just really just a test cut, just to show you how a test cut works. And I don't know how well we're going to be able to see into the laser itself, because obviously it has a tinted window, but we'll take a look and see what we have there. Now, one thing that you can do when you set this up, so this is my laser's bed, if you like. So my bed is 300 by 200. So if you look here, I go from, my origin is this top corner, so I have 0 zeros up here, and then down here would be 200, and across there would be 300. So this is going to be somewhere in the middle. And just to make sure, we can hit this frame button. What it's going to do is it'll draw the outline of where that square is going to go. So we'll take a look at that now, and I will video that for you. You can see it. So I'm going to hit the start button for the frame. You'll see the laser moves out, runs around the frame, and I can see that the frame of that is going to fit in there pretty well. I'll just run it one more time just so you can see it again. And you can see the light is actually shining, shows me where it's going to cut. And actually when it does the frame, it does a very light laser show as well. So actually I can see the outline of that frame. Okay, so here we go. We're going to send that now to the laser, and hopefully we can get some copy of as it does it. Here we go. Oh, looks like my intensity is a bit high. See the flames? Really didn't want the flames. It's actually going to cut through that square at 20%. So I set it too high. I'm going to actually cut out that square. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, so I'm going to set it down to 10 next. So just looking at the card there, it didn't actually cut all the way through. So although you can see there was a little bit of flame in there, it didn't cut through. So 20 is actually not a bad if you just want to make a ridge in there. So it's basically put a ridge into it. If I just wanted to engrave it just to show a picture, I'd probably use maybe 10. What we'll do is we'll put we'll make the rectangle smaller, or the rectangle smaller, and then we'll try it on 10 and we'll see how that works. So now to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. So I'm going to go here with the blue layer. Actually, sorry, I'm going to keep that one on the black layer. I'm going to draw another square inside here, and then I'm going to select that and pop that into the blue layer. So now you see I have a blue layer. I can change the settings for this blue layer. I'm going to go down to 10. Say OK. So now this blue line will be at 10 and the black line would be at 20. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the output for the black line. So now it's only going to do the blue line. The only The only problem I have is I didn't register the corner. So I'm actually going to quickly look at the frame and see if I can just get it roughly in the right spot. Okay, I just framed it up roughly in the right spot, just so this will be a square inside the other square. And I'll show you how this one cuts. This is at 10%. There, so here you can see at 10%, this is just a drawing, there's no ridge. On 20%, it's cutting into the cardboard. So and that's how I would do it, is I would take a test piece of the material and do a cut, do a laser burn and see how that cut looks and if that's the kind of power I want. One thing that's different with laser cutting compared to CNC cutting is the height or the depth. Is it all about the power of the laser? We're basically in a 2D plane, and if we turn up the laser, it's going to cut more, and if we turn down the laser, it's going to cut less, and equally, if we speed up the laser, it'll cut less, and if we slow down the laser, it'll cut more. So if you dwell the laser, of course, it's going to cut more. So hopefully that gives you a good view of the Monport CO2 40 watt laser. Hope you've enjoyed looking at it. I'm kind of excited with the things that we might be able to make with it. I'm going to be doing some FreeCAD pieces to be able to use FreeCAD to generate the files that we need for laser cutting. Now you can also use Inkscape, so we'll probably be doing some of that too. And that will enable us to make pretty much anything we want that's in that 2D plane. You can engrave pictures, you can engrave text, and you can cut out shapes. So we're going to do all of that. We'll be working with the laser here going forward. Now don't forget, we're also putting together the MPCNC. So once that's all done, then we'll have the options to go either CNC or laser. And probably a mixture of the two is the right answer. Use the right one when it's appropriate, and that will basically give us the ability to make all manner of things that we may want to make. Particularly Christmas is coming, so I'm thinking we're going to laser some Christmas gifts to see how that goes. As far as the setup is concerned for this laser, pretty straightforward. There are some things you have to learn to make it work, but I will say it's a pretty tidy build, looks very good. It's a nice addition to the workshop. I think from a functional standpoint, it's pretty easy to use. If you've done any CNC, you'll find that this XY Cartesian coordinate type of thing is pretty straightforward. I will buy Lightburn. This is my demo version for 30 days, but I think I'm going to buy it. There is another piece of software. It's called Laser Gerbil, and that one works as well, but it's not quite as full-featured as Lightburn. So I'm using that one too, but for the most part, I think I'm going to be using Lightburn. So I'm probably going to buy Lightburn here. Other than that, I'm excited about what we might be able to do with this. So thanks for your support. Thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. We are marching on to 15,000 subscribers. Hopefully once we get to 15,000, we'll get a little bit more exposure, get more people on board so people can see the videos, and we'll continue to do these cool things. One thing I wanted to mention, in FreeCAD, we're also designing a holder for drills. So that will be one of the next FreeCAD videos too. So lots of things coming, lots of good stuff coming. Please share the video with your friends. Let's get as many people subscribed as we can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.